Hello, everyone. This is going to be an honest review on Xmart 5's internet service. Um, I ran across this company a couple of months ago. When I decided I wanted to go about getting a different internet service. I was using a hotspot like this. I was using that and it worked well for me because I'm the type that's not necessarily, I didn't necessarily download like a lot of stuff or big files and things of that nature and stuff on a regular. So it worked well for me to just access the internet and stuff like that and do the usual song downloads and stuff like that. But I did want to get into more of downloading big files and maybe even like live streaming and things of that nature. And I knew that wasn't going to hold up as well because it's a limited amount of bandwidth that you have as far as the gigs and things of that nature. It's not an unlimited internet service or whatever. So in saying that, I started researching a couple months ago, maybe around Thanksgiving, so I started researching these different companies and stuff like that. And, I came across this company called Xmart, and they was advertising how, their service will work for everyone, and you can be in the remote areas and stuff like that and everything. You still get your good service and everything. Not remote but rural areas, and you'll still get your good service and stuff like that. So, and one thing that drew me to them was because they were advertising themselves as being like associated with AT&T per se, and AT&T is like one of the best services you can get in this area. So I gravitated towards him and stuff, and I talked to him and everything, and and it came to the process of them sending out the stuff. They sent me out this router right here. Now the thing about it was when they initially sent me out, which basically, let me get into details on what the deal is or whatever. Right now, when I signed up for it, it was like basically like just under $150 for the equipment, and it's like $70 something a month, something like that, per month. But they say they'll give you a 14-day free trial that you can use and stuff. And if you don't want to keep the service, you cancel it. So I was like, okay, cool. I'll pay the $147 and for the equipment and do the trial. And also, they say like, once if you say you don't want the service, they'll refund you that initial payment that you had to pay for this router, and you'll just send it back to them and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, cool. It's no risk obligation. So I signed up for it and everything, and and the customer service stuff was good and everything. They make sure to call you and stuff. They give you a tracking number and all like that and stuff like that. That was all fine and dandy. But throughout that whole process of me talking to them, I was telling them, because the way how their thing works, I'll show you on the box. You see it say SIM card plug and play. And basically how their service works is that they're supposed to they jump off of the cell phone towers, and they give you the service, which I had no problem with it, because that's basically what this router with this hotspot does. This hotspot is just like I connect my phone or my computer to this, and this jumps off of the tower, and it gives you internet service. So basically, it was a glorified hotspot. It basically was something bigger, and then the advantages that they said, what it's supposed to have is that, it's supposed to give you the access. You're supposed to have Ethernet ports and stuff like that to whereby, you can access the higher speeds and stuff like that. Okay, so fast forward, I say, okay, hey, I'm gonna go through the service, go about getting the service. And I told the people, I say, hey, I understand how your service works and everything. I told them specifically. I say, hey, I need a AT&T SIM card in the router when you all send it, because T-Mobile and these other companies and stuff don't really work well out here. I'm not sure with Verizon because I haven't dealt with Verizon a lot enough for me to say yeah or nay. But I know for sure that AT&T works well out here because that's who my phone service is with, and I've had excellent service with them. I'm in a rural area and I get 5G LTE in a rural area, so I knew that that internet service will work, or that provider will work well. So they went through the whole process. They sent out everything and stuff, and they said, okay, hey, we got everything. I guess the router in, I hooks it up, and I goes to try to use it, and I'm like, something ain't right. It's not it's not showing me these high speeds. Like, what's wrong? So I immediately go run a speed test. I run a speed test. I'm not even getting one megabyte up. I mean, 1 megabyte down. I'm getting maybe 2 up, and it's like, man, that can't be right, man. That's basically practically useless. It was so bad that YouTube videos I have to watch them 144p, 244p, and let the video, I had to pause and let the video pre-buffer and stuff like that. And even at that low setting, it's like, nah, this ain't it. So I call them up and everything, and that's, like I said, that's one credit I give to them, that they do have like the number you can call, and they have like the little online thing and stuff, and they will respond to you. So as far as you contacting them, that's no problem. There was times that they actually called me just to make sure I received everything and stuff like that. So their customer service part is good. It's just that when I went to go use, like I said, it was just practically useless. And then so I called him up and I told him, I was like, hey, I told you from the beginning, from the get-go, before I initially signed up, I said, do not sign it up under T-Mobile. Do not send me a router with a T-Mobile SIM card in it. It will not work. So they assured me that they wasn't going to do that and everything and stuff. So like I said, the router came in and it had the T-Mobile SIM card, and I found out because when I did the speed test, I'm like, man, these numbers ain't right. I know this ain't AT&T. And then when I went online, I went through the little site that they tell you to go through and stuff. It's pulling up as T-Mobile. I said, I had to call the people. I had to call them up. I called them up, and lo and behold, they was like, oh, we're sorry. We sent the wrong card out and stuff. And I was like, I told y'all from day one, before y'all sent out this initial router, that it's supposed to be AT&T. T-Mobile is not going to work. So they said, okay, we're going to go ahead on and send you out another SIM card. I'm gonna repeat. They said they're gonna go and send me out another SIM card, AT&T SIM card. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'll just wait a couple of days or whatever for that SIM card to come, pop out the oven and put in a new one. I said, and I planned to whereby I was gonna see my internet service that I had with under the Cricket or whatever with this hotspot. I was just going to let that run out and then use it as a trial, use the new service as a trial and see how it works. If it works good, I'm gonna keep it. If not, I'm just gonna cancel it. Go back to the old one, pay the reactivation fee, and and get the new service. So they go and they say, okay, hey, they're gonna send me out a new SIM card. So today come out, I'm tracking it and stuff. And that's another thing too. They do give you tracking and stuff like that and everything. And they do send it relatively fast. So that's another positive thing I'd say about them. So they notify me, hey, it's arriving today and stuff. I go to the mailbox and I'm like, I got another large box in the mail. It's like, why am I not getting another large box? They send me out this router. So, and it's like, it's basically similar. It's not, it's not exactly. This one says Kade Kuti, whatever that is. And, it's basically generally the same. This one says Plex. And, it's basically generally the same. I was like, okay, cool. They send me out one, and I'm like, okay, there must be the different brands. This must be an AT&T one. I go and I'm looking in there to see, okay, hey, maybe they just did it like how they did on this first one, because when they sent me this first one, they sent it and they already had the SIM card in there. So I go and I look in this one. This one doesn't have a SIM card in it. So I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to do? This is when everything started going downhill. It first went downhill with the bad service to begin with, but I contact them and I'm like, I first try to call them, they didn't answer. So I contact them online or whatever, do the messenger or whatever. They use Respond Fast on there. So they tells me, it's like, hey, I'm like, hey, I received my equipment, but it did not come with a SIM card. What should I do? Is the SIM card that's in there, or y'all reprogramming that for it to work on this one and give me a better service? Which in the back of my mind, I kind of was like, if that's a T-Mobile SIM card, it's not going to still ain't going to work or whatever. But I just kind of I was like, man, maybe the route itself is gonna pull out more or something, make it go fast or whatever. So they was like, yeah, just pop out that other SIM card, pop out SIM card, put in another one. Immediately upon me trying to go put it in, as I'm putting it in, I'm realizing, man, this isn't the same size SIM card slot. And as I'm saying that, the SIM card goes all the way into the router, and I was stuck. And so I call them up, and I'm like, oh, by this time they call me up, and they're all like, oh, hey, did everything work? And I'm like, no, it's not working. And now I'm without internet service because the SIM card that I had that was working, although it was a subpar service, it did work somewhere. I just had to kind of be more patient with using it and stuff like that. And I was like, now I don't have anything. And by this time, this one had already had the service was already up on it. So I was like I said, my plan was just like, hey, I'm going to be using this one, and they send me out a new SIM card and everything. I'm going to be using it's going to be perfectly fine. I don't need to renew my service. So by this happening now, I wound up having to go leave back out my house, go across town to go and load money on a card just so I can be able to have internet for however long it's going to be till all this issue gets resolved. And I'm explaining to them sir, y'all don't understand from my standpoint, the issue that I'm coming across. I done gave y'all basically $150, and that's tied up with this whole issue with the routers and things like that. And it's like, I told him, it's like, I done put in basically $150. On top of that, now I have to go and pay more money to get this reactivated just so I can have internet. It's to just get the regular monthly fee plus the reactivation fee. I had to go across town, go to just to load money onto the card just so I can go on ahead and have internet to be able to for whenever they decided to want to send a SIM card or whenever I get this issue resolved. So I'm trying to explain to him, like, man, this is really frustrating. You all are saying, oh man, leave a positive review or this, that, and the other. No, I'm not going to leave a positive review. I'm not going to sit there and say it's going to be negative. It's going to be honest. I'm going to tell the truth on what's going on and stuff. I'm not going to sit there and oh yeah, man, this is the best internet service. Oh man, you should get it and stuff. Oh no, I'm a post it just like how I'm telling you all on here. If you run across them, you have to be cautious of what's going on or what happened. Using my experience as a cautionary tale and stuff, because you may have the service or you may get the service. T-Mobile may be perfect in your area. T-Mobile may be the best phone provider in your area. So for you all that applies to, you might not even have this issue. You might get it because as far as with them sending out the equipment and stuff, oh, they sent that out quick, fast, in a hurry. So that's not an issue. They'll send out. So if you're one of the ones that say, hey, I wouldn't have an issue with having to decide between T-Mobile and AT&T. T-Mobile works better for me. Or AT&T works good for me as well. Both of them are good in my area. I'm in a metropolitan area. And you wouldn't have an issue. You're going to get this and you'll plug it up. And as far as I'm concerned, you may have good service. You may have bad service. But I can't vouch for that right now and say, okay, hey, that speeds are fast or the service is good, because I've never even gotten past that initial point of me being able to see that, So in saying that, people they're telling me, oh man, we hope you leave us an honest review, not an honest, a positive review, and I'm like, I'm gonna leave an honest review, just like how I'm telling you all the honest truth on what's going on. Like I said, I'm not going to do the video and keep it like that. That's why I said I'm going to mainly do it as part one, honest review part one, or whatever, however I'm going to name it. I'm going to name it as a part one because, I am going to give them the benefit. I'll say, okay, hey, let me see what goes on and everything, how this goes. If they make it right, I'll come back on and say, hey, yes, they made it right, and I'll go over the speed's good. So I'll let y'all know. Or if they still have this drag on for another month or so, I'll come back on and I decide, hey, I'm just done with it. Because earlier I was saying I was done with it. I was going to throw all the stuff back in the boxes and ship it back to them and tell them give me my refund. But I said I'm gonna give them a chance and stuff. And so, I'm allowed for that to happen. And then I'll come back in and I'll do part two to this video, and say, Xmart 5 honest review part 2 or whatever. But I am gonna go back on their page and, basically leave my review and stuff on my initial review based on everything that I'm saying here on their page and stuff, because like I say, I would want others to potentially know what's going on and stuff, and not just assume, oh hey, it's gonna be all good and dandy and stuff, because there are no other video reviews, or there are people who've left reviews. They got people that say it's positive. It's like 50-50 or 60-40 or whatever, So it's like I have to go in there and I have to be honest and say, okay, this is where I'm at. So when other people come along and they see this company advertising internet service, or they go and say, oh yeah, man, let's, our service is good and everything, and they go and they type it in, Xmart 5 reviews or whatever, they will come, hopefully my video will come up or whatever, or, hopefully it will show up when they go on onto the company page and stuff, and they'll see that and stuff, and then they will go in with with an open mind and not have to go through what I had to go through. And I'm realizing too, it's like, man, now I'm dealing with this not on this one. I'm dealing with the SIM card. It's basically stuck in there. So I'm just gonna have to either figure out how I'm gonna open this up to get to the SIM card, or just hopefully when they send this AT&T SIM card, they be the right one and it'll fit into this old one. And because if it has to go into this new one, I have to open this up and try to figure out how to get to that SIM card to get it out there. Because they tell me on the phone, it's like, oh hey, see if you can get the SIM card out. It's like, what? Man, if anything, y'all should send me another ride like how y'all did before, and do it right this time. Like I said, it's they offered, oh man, we're gonna keep holding off the 14-day trial. We're gonna keep pausing. It's not gonna start until you get the correct one. You start using this site, and they say, oh man, hey, we're gonna give you a discount on 3 months. We gonna knock $10 off the bill. And I'm like, okay, I'm paying $10 less per month for a bill if I decide to do it, to use it. And it's like, okay, so, and you keeping the trial going. What if I use it and I don't want it? How am I going to be compensated? You're going to refund me stuff back, but I'm still going to have to go through this whole process of now dropping more money on this, and you're not making that right on that end. So that's one of the things I'm going to have to follow up on and stuff in the next video and stuff. Hopefully this all will be resolved soon and everything. Thank y'all for joining into this video. Subscribe for the part 2. And I thank y'all for y'all time. Y'all have a good day.